Hey guys, a very quick unboxing and review of the Gerber Suspension multi-plier plus sheath. Comes in this clamshell box. As you see, all of the Gerber products are serialized to begin with. Like even this it has a serialized, yep, blade here. So all of the Gerber stuff is serialized, which is nice with inventory tracking and so on. So let me just open it and see what we're dealing with here, because it's there are many variants of the Gerber. There is the suspension NXT. There is what else? Just NXT, I think, or just suspension. So this is just suspension, which is nice. I mean, it looked a little bit more refined than all the other the suspension NXT with its advantages and disadvantages. Major advantage was that it's kind of cheap, very inexpensive kind of solution for a multi-tool, which for me is perfect. Frankly speaking, I don't think that any of the people that are praising their Leathermans and their stuff are doing much work with those, and I need multi-tool in order to work with it. So that's an interesting design. There's a clamshell packaging, and with it there is another clamshell packaging. So that's interesting. So let's see itself. A lot of packaging and opening, but nothing that we can't get through. Alright. So that's the actual tool. Let's see the sheath first, because I really use the sheath for each of those. Although it may sound a little bit, unimportant, to me it is, because sometimes I don't have the space in the real estate in my pockets, but I do have it on my belt, so it makes every sense for me to have it on my belt. So warranty materials, and interestingly enough, comes Gerber and then Fiskars. It's probably the first time that I've seen Fiskars having their brand name within Gerber. They have been kind of so far insistent that they're not associated. There are a lot of cutting, gardening tools, Fiskars, but I haven't seen it much associated with Gerber on other products, Portland, Oregon. Alright, so just a little bit of warranty materials. Nice little pouch that has the top part a little bit more rigid, with like a hard foam insert here, a velcro strap. Very minimalistic from what I see, but still well made. Very nice stitching from what I see. Very good threads. Yep. So two types of mounting, horizontal and vertical, which is a nice design. Those stretch, but just a little bit. Non-reflective logo, which is woven into the fabric itself. And that's the tool itself, spring-loaded pliers, which is nice. Frankly speaking, I would never buy multi-tool that doesn't have spring-loaded pliers. Every time I'll do something, I'll be doing this one hand. I wouldn't have the bandwidth to do something hard and coordinate holding something with my hand and then using my pinky to expand it, just because somebody wanted to cheap out and didn't plan for small insert in this area to kind of have this spring tension. It's not a big deal. It's something that's enough to kind of maintain this, and even if it breaks, then you get pretty much the same functionality as your standard Leatherman. That's why I don't like Leathermans a lot, because they're kind of planning on this. They're kind of cheaping out on this because it involves another cost factor to involve. So nice and thin needle nose pliers, very precisely machined, almost like tweezers. Yep. So I understand probably this won't be the best tool to kind of put a lot of force on with those thin thin needle nose ends, but you can grab something, you know, something strong here. The anvil type cutters are really nice and precise. Let me try to zoom that in. Really precise, with small hole for, you know, the strong cables the thick cables need to go all the way to the bottom, and then cut them probably with several cuts, like 1 or 2 cuts. But itself, the cutting part is really well centered. The blade itself is well machined. I really like how the level of precision that Gerbers are putting on this specific part. So there is no, although there is a spring inside, there is no wobble, absolutely no wobble. Unlike on suspension NXT, there is some play. On the suspension itself, it's more beefy and it is a little bit more heavy. Let's see, from what I see, Torx curves, a little bit of plastic insert that makes it a little bit easier on your hand and on your palm when you need to grip more. So let's see what else this tool offers. So butterfly, standard butterfly deployment, the integrated bowl opener and can opener. Yep. Previous versions would have a small Phillips screwdriver on this end. They didn't plan on this as on this version, but probably it's a good good design anyways. A little notch to take it out. Let's see what else is there. Nice nice knife, serrated blade, and serrated blade with a thumb opener. I really like that. So really like how the thumb opener works. It's just sticking out about a millimeter, and then you just push on it. They're a little bit tight, and they're a little bit tight right now, but it's not going to be like a flip blade anyway. So this is multi-tool. It's meant to save time, not perform artistic, you know, flipping, knife flipping. Lockable blade, which I really like. So you release it by sliding this blade down, and then it immediately folds. So that's the small, I really like that design. That's a small Phillips, a small flathead screwdriver with a notch to expand, lockable again. So this is meant for more precision work. I really like that. The lanyard hole, probably this is the thickest part of the lanyard hole, and it's lockable right here. It's also lockable, but it's really thick. Other versions, even Leathermans, have this, but it is so thin that when you normally wear it with lanyard or some kind of you know, paracord here, it would get torn simply because this specific part is so thin that it acts like a blade. So I'll move this back and unlock. Then a necessity from my standpoint is to have scissors on every multi-tool. I wouldn't need a multi-tool if I don't have scissors on it. Actually, most of the multi-tools don't have scissors, and I find this as a major drawback, because every now and then I need scissors to kind of do more precise cutting here and there, and I'm not able to do precise cutting with a knife or something like that. Or my knife, because I use it most often, is not razor sharp, and um, that's where scissors become handy, because by definition they're a little bit sharper. Um, so let's see how sharp they are here. Pretty good. On a very thin piece of paper, very good sharpness. They're stiff. Unlike others, they're not wobbly. So as you see, this is absolutely stiff on on a lot of Leathermans, and also other versions of Gerber tools. This would be a little bit wobbly. On all Leathermans, this is kind of wobbly, and that's wobbly for a reason. But this one is very stiff. Yep, very stiff. The spring requires a positive amount of force. I mean, it's not something that you would be pushing down without any feedback. And that's on one side. The other side features exactly the same thumb screw. Very nice, I would say, very nice form of the blade. Again, serialized, nice edge in front, like sheep's foot, which is kind of takes away the need of an awl. As you see, it comes very sharp right from the factory. Maybe not razor sharp, but it's still very sharp. Steel itself, I don't think it's something to write home about, but it is good steel. It is very functional, very easy to sharpen. You don't have to do something to spend hours on end, grinding this and sharpening it. But at the same time, it gets dull easy. So I don't know. It's just a normal working tool. So I really like that design. I mean, I wouldn't put high-end steel on a multi-tool to begin with. Then you have a large flathead that can be used as a pry tool. With nice beefy nice thick body, again lockable. You get also your Phillips. Let me just try to open it. It's kind of a little bit, a little bit tight, because it's just new. So the Phillips screwdriver is kind of minimalistic. Other designs have this. This follows pretty much the parameters of Leatherman's inserts, and I think since they are implementing it, probably they deem this as sufficient enough for Phillips screws. Yep, again, a little bit of offset, so you can do this one-handed, and you see all of this lies into one plane, one axis here. So you can operate it like this, one-handed. And all of the tools are like this: the small Phillips, the small flathead, the big flathead, the Phillips as well. So it's a nice addition here. The other thing that I also am looking for in a multi-tool is a saw. A saw, in my opinion, is an absolute necessity on multi-tools. And why is it? Because normally you would work on, let's say, a PVC pipe that you need to cut, or a small element that you would need to cut, and every now and then you would need that on a multi-tool. So in the situations where you would need a multi-tool, you might need also a saw. And to me, saw has bigger advantage compared to other multi-tools, like other parts of the multi-tool, like plethora of screws and screw blades, and even the can opener, in my opinion, is a little bit redundant. And the bottle opener, I mean, I can open a bottle with this. I can just take the bottle, stick this under the cap, and just flip it with the saw or any other portion. So to me, it's kind of redundant, but at the same time, yeah, it's a tradition to have on a multi-tool. But I certainly like the saw being on a multi-tool, and especially having cutting capacity of straight edge, the serrated blade, and saw is definitely, this tool is oriented towards the more practical user. It is a little bit thinner than the body itself, which is normal for saws in order to make things easier when you're sawing wetwood specifically. And yeah, it's a good tool for good design. I like their designs. Like, as you see, very tight, very sturdy. The handle itself is sturdy, beefy. It's meant to sustain a lot of force, a lot of pressure, which on the suspension NXT maybe it's not valid, because it is meant for like, although it's meant for brute force, it's still kind of a little bit more wobbly. The really like how beefy this is. It's not extremely heavy, so it won't, you know, slide your pants down if you use it. But again, having the pouch here is absolutely it's absolutely a very good solution, because you can just put it on a belt, and it's very inconspicuous, very thin to begin with. It's like almost less than an inch. You see, it's an entire inch together with the cover. So I think it's a nice, very nice product to have. Nothing, not too pretentious. It doesn't have the big pretense of being the super tool or having the most phenomenal and latest version of the steel, but at the same time it's very accessible, very affordable to begin with, coming with a, you know, the single hand deployment, all the lockable parts as well. It's nice. The thing that I didn't like, or I didn't understand precisely, is if I can flip this as left-handed, because I'm left-handed, and operating this with my dominant hand could be a little bit cumbersome. But I can understand why, you know, huge volume of production, maybe not thinking about, you know, all the variety of people that are right-handed and left-handed, and maybe they just did one version for predominant amount of people, so I'm kind of okay with that. But all over, I like this. I like this design. I like how it's made. I like that it's beefy, it's cheap, it's very easy to operate, very easy to use, intuitive, and it's going to be a huge help around your house or around your workshop. It's not going to perform absolutely fantastic on all the jobs, all the tasks, but it is something that definitely you need to consider. Overall length is less than 4 inches, width is about 1 inch and 3/4. Yep, 1 inch and 3/4. And there you go. 3 inches 3/4. And let's see the blade. Serrated blade is about 2 inches. The straight edge blade is, cutting part is just shy of 2 inches. So very good. I think that's a very good deal, very good transaction. They come at extremely good price. They were on promotion on Gerber side. So yeah, there you go. Thanks for watching. Bye.